This is just a quick disclaimer that the topic I'm going to be talking about today includes suicide, self harm, and a lot of topics that would be sensitive to others. So, if you are sensitive to those kind of topics, feel free to click off the video. There is a mental health crisis in Gen Z and in America as a whole. And I genuinely feel like it's not talked about enough, or whenever it is talked about, it's more of a graze over. They're just kind of mentioning it. But I'm going to be here today and I'm going to kind of go in depth onto why it's a crisis and why it needs to be solved stat. So, growing up in Gen Z, we had a lot of access to social media and a lot of access to technology that previous generations didn't necessarily have, which caused us to have unrealistic comparisons on platforms like Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, and they show idealized versions of life, and that leads to self-doubt and inadequacy. That's what it makes us feel like. And of course, nobody wants to feel that, but that is the unfortunate truth. I feel like these people that show off all their big fancy penthouses, their Bugattis, their Lamborghinis. I know it's meant to just be like bragging, and I know it's meant to be like, I guess, it could be motivational, honestly. Be like, hey, I want that. How do I get that? But it also rubs people the wrong way, and it also leads to people feeling just bad about themselves, bad about their situation, bad about their life. And that also doesn't help with the cyberbullying and the online harassment that's been going around. I know the COD lobbies, I know the game chat, and I know it's normally just for fun, but there are times whenever people do genuinely feel like they get hurt. I guess it's not really offended, but it's more of just like hurt, because the anonymity of the internet fuels toxic behaviors, making it easier for Gen Z to experience bullying. And of course, nobody deserves to be bullied, harassed, and it causes really bad emotional harm online. And that's going to fuel my very, very last topic that I will talk about. And of course, there's the dopamine addiction of just doom scrolling on your phone. Of course, I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of pulling out my phone and just sitting there swiping. I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of being late to work for it. But social media's constant stream of likes, comments, and notifications creates a cycle of instant gratification, kind of like smoking, vaping. That instant hit of like, oh, which can lead to anxiety, depression, and social disconnection, just like vaping can. Vaping is also a really huge problem in Gen Z. I went to high school, and there would be people that go into the bathrooms and they would vape or smoke weed right before a test, or they just go and they just do it. And of course, they finally started cracking down on it, but it only took them like 10 years, which is insane. It shouldn't take that long to crack down on something as serious as vaping or smoking weed, especially as a minor. But there's also the mental health stigma and the lack of resources that go into it. I feel like only having the suicide helpline, there's also websites like BetterHelp, and there's therapy, but I think BetterHelp costs money. I'm not 100% certain, but therapy definitely does cost money. It costs a lot of money, and so not a lot of people are able to access that very easily, which is, you have the normalization of it, which is what they're doing, but that's not really an action. They're not really pushing it, being like, hey, if you have these feelings, you need to absolutely call these people. They're not like forcing it on you, which is a good thing. I mean, I don't think you should force anything onto anybody, but whenever it comes to literally life or death, I think they'll be grateful for it in the future. And while Gen Z acknowledges the mental health struggles, many still face challenges accessing therapy or effective resources due to the stigma or financial barriers, like I just said. And I'm looking at notes now as I'm talking, but I pretty much nailed that on the head. But again, it's it's not good. A lot of these people that promote men's mental health do, well, not just men's mental health. There's also female mental health, but those topics I will cover next weekend. Female and men's mental health, both in their own separate videos, because I don't feel like men's mental health needs to be covered with females' mental health. We both deal with very different things. But again, the resources may not be effective. Accessing the therapy is a challenge sometimes, and the stigma and the financial barriers. Like, therapy is expensive. I don't know how expensive. I never went to therapy. I was just kind of told to get over it. And I did for the most part, but I still do struggle. Everybody struggles every now and then. But if you're constantly feeling those feelings, please call the health hotline. Please don't let yourself suffer like that. There's also the access to care, the limited access to mental health professionals, and long waiting lists. Alongside the high cost therapy make it harder for Gen Z to get the help that they need. The awareness without resources, there's a higher awareness of mental health issues. There is still a significant gap between recognizing the problem and accessing the proper care. Yes, there is absolutely a problem with recognizing what the signs are, because you could just be like, oh, they might have an off day, or oh, they might just be in their emotions, or I hate to say it, but there are people who genuinely do it for clout. There are people that fake mental health illnesses so that way they can get likes or clicks or whatever, and it degrades the ones that actually have that, and it affects them. And those are some of the most vile people out there that'll fake an illness, like let's say Tourette's, and profit off of it. It's disgusting. It's gross. It might actually be worse than my past video of OnlyFans, faking an illness like that, where people actually die from it, die from mental health, die from suicide. And it's just, it's not okay. It's genuinely not okay. And I know I'm not having as much emotion as I usually do, but this is a very serious topic that we're talking about. This is an absolutely very serious topic that needs to 100% be addressed, and needs to be addressed a lot better throughout America. But growing up, there was also the pressure to be perfect. Not necessarily the pressure on me, but there are people who have the pressure to be perfect. And the rise of influencers and idealized lifestyles on social media creates pressure to maintain a flawless image, leading to feelings of inadequacy when reality doesn't match. So you have self-depreciation whenever you look at that, what a girl on TikTok or Instagram, and she doesn't have an OnlyFans. She looks great, has a boyfriend, or it's the other way. There's a really good-looking dude, and he has a girlfriend, and he has a great life, and it makes you feel inadequate. I'm sure they're not trying to make you feel inadequate, but those feelings are definitely there. They need to be addressed. They need to be 1,000,000% noticed. I don't think that's noticed enough. I don't think it's noticed enough that people think differently, because if I saw that, I'd be like, oh, good for them. I'm happy for them. But if somebody else might see that, they'd be like, oh, I wish I had that. I wish I made better choices in life to get there. Which, you can still 100% do that. It's never too late. But it's just the inadequacy and the reality hit, which is never fun. But there's also overwork and productivity. The culture of hustle and the constant productivity pressures young people to perform at high levels, contributing to burnout, stress, and anxiety. Stress is a very huge thing facing the Gen Z. Stress and anxiety are insanely high, because I know Gen Z, I'm in Gen Z. I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford a house. I have a really good job, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford a house. I don't know if I'm going to be able to have a wife, have a kid, or have 2 kids like I'd love to have, because of the current state of the economy, which contributes to my productivity. It's crazy. The whole mental health thing is just, it's crazy. But there's also the fear of missing out, FOMO. Constant exposure to others' seemingly perfect lives can lead to a fear of missing out, making young people feel like they're falling behind or not living up to expectations. I struggle with that a lot. I struggle with FOMO every day, because I'm hustling, I'm working hard, and I'm trying to do this as well. And I see all my friends that I went to high school with, and they're out partying, they're out having a good time, and I have to constantly remind myself that what you're doing is going to benefit your future, so that way you can go do that with your friends and not have to worry about college or any other thing like that. And for a long time, I really did feel like I wasn't living up to the expectations that my parents had set me. And I now realize that I haven't. But I'm getting back there. I'm slowly but surely. Especially if this blows up, this whole channel blows up, I would have exceeded their expectations. Because I really want to bring to light these issues. That's why I made the org Shining the Light. Because I shine light on a lot of issues, and not only plaguing America, but plaguing Gen Z. Because I don't feel like a lot of Gen Z issues are talked about enough. But yeah, the fear of missing out. It's really big. It's really big in today's society because everybody wants to hang out with somebody. We don't want to be alone. We don't want to be isolated with our own thoughts because it's scary. It's genuinely scary to be alone like that. But you're never alone. You always have somebody that you can talk to. You always have somebody that will listen to you. Even if they're not like a physical being, they will always hear you. This is going to be the hardest part of the video to talk about. Because I have had my own run-ins with this experience. I've had many people, not many people, but some people talk about this and they make it a joke. And they say it's a really bad thing, but they gloss over it. And that's the suicide rate. The suicide rate up for Gen Z is astronomical. It needs to be 0. We need to make it 0. Stat. I know a lot of people that are in Gen Z that struggle with mental health and they've contemplated suicide. I have as well. And I have talked to my parents about it and we helped me through it. And I'm very thankful for that, but there's not a lot of people who have that person to talk to. So they just kind of have to figure it out. And unfortunately, when they do commit the act, it's... I can't even put into words how saddening it truly is. And I don't feel like that's talked about enough. I feel like it's more glossed over. But the suicide rate for Gen Z is astronomical. And what's worse is that I wasn't able to get a exact percentage for Gen Z. They divided it by minority. Yeah. They divided the suicide rates by minority. And I wasn't able to get a statistic showing all of Gen Z. It was either Hispanics, blacks, Asians, whites. Like, it's dividing us. No, we're all in this together. We are all suffering the same, not the same thing, but a similar thing. The depression, the anxiety, the stress. We are all suffering from it. And we shouldn't be divided just because of our skin color. We shouldn't be divided by our beliefs. We all struggle with suicide. We all struggle with depression. We all struggle with stress. We all struggle with anxiety. And that shouldn't be a divide. I cannot believe the CDC didn't put out an all suicide rate. I cannot believe it. And I know that it is truly saddening to hear about this, but it needs to be addressed. This is definitely a hard topic for me to talk about, especially with my own run-ins and with people that I know. I've had friends break down right next to me because of all the pressure that they're under. And it doesn't help that previous generations are just like, you just have to work harder. You just have to put your heels into the ground and keep moving. You just got to do this. You just got to do that. No, there's genuine problems here. Like, there's Whoopi Goldberg on her show, and she was like, I'm sorry, if you don't want to work 40 hours a week, it's going to be harder for you to get a house. I'm working 50 hours a week, and I'm still not going to be able to afford a house. By the time I'm maybe by the time I'm 25, 26. But I don't want to be that old living with my parents. I want to move out. I want to move out by the time I'm 20, 21. And everybody just makes this seem like it's an issue whenever it genuinely is an issue. They just gloss over it. They just are like, this is a crisis. What are we going to do about it? We'll fix it. Okay, when are you going to fix it? We'll fix it. I'm glad I was able to bring this to light. And if I want to leave y'all off with something, it's that suicide is never worth it. It's never worth the cost of your own life. Because if you truly feel that miserable and that unloved, there's got to be something. There's got to be some outside influence coming in, whether it's a demon, whether it's your parents, whether it's somebody in your life. You have to find them and cut them off completely. And I know with what I just said, that sounded like harsh, but it's what you have to do. You have to find that peace in your life that's plaguing you, and you have to get rid of it. It's like a virus. Think of it as a virus, okay? You're the brain, and the virus is the suicidal thoughts or the depression. You have to send your white blood cells to find the cause of that, to destroy it. But that's what I'll leave y'all off with. Please, if you genuinely feel this way, do not hesitate to call somebody. Please. Your life is worth more than you know. Your life brings light into this world, because pitch black darkness is the darkest thing on this planet. Your color of your skin doesn't matter. Your background doesn't matter. You bring light into this world. You make it brighter. Even though you might be small, all of us together make it brighter. Thank you. Have a good night.